Right, let's start today's session. See, in the last lecture, we discussed just the basics of .NET Core, what subjects I'm going to deal in the session. So as I said that we are going to learn .NET Core 8 version. So in this core, C#.NET, ASP.NET Core, MVC, Entity Framework, Web API, and SQL Server UI basics, right? So in the last lecture, we discussed what each and every subject purpose I explain you. So C#.NET is a programming language which is used to write coding part for the application development. Whereas ASP.NET is purely for web development purpose. It stands for Active Server Page, and ASP.NET is called as server-side technology. So using ASP.NET, we can develop web applications. So web application means simply the application which provides the services over the web is called web application. So in ASP.NET web application, we are going to use a design pattern called MVC. It is a design pattern to develop the web applications. In MVC, model stands for M for model. It's about data access layer. But for this, we are going to learn SQL Server. And view means presentation layer. So this is completely UI basics. So designing purpose, we need to learn UI basics. C for controller, business access layer. So complete logic. So application implementation, we can do with logic code. That is, we can write in C#.NET programming language. So ultimately, front-end development and back-end development both are there. For front-end development purpose, we need to use UI basics. Back-end development purpose, totally three things are required. One is programming language, frameworks, and database, SQL Server. Even I'm going to teach you entity framework also. It is an object relational mapper tool for .NET applications. Without writing raw SQL statements, we can generate database code. That is the purpose of entity framework. And Web API is nothing but application programming interface. API is a software tool which enables the communication between two or more applications. So this we discussed in the last lecture, what each and every subject purpose. At the same time, I have given a basic information about .NET. What is .NET means? .NET is a framework which is designed and developed by Microsoft Corporation. And .NET was announced by Bill Gates in the year of 2000. First version of .NET was released in the year of 2002. From 2002 to 2016, there was a .NET framework which makes platform dependent style. So that means .NET framework applications will only run on Windows-based operating system, which cannot be run on other operating systems, right? From 2016 to 2015, 2025 till today. So we are using .NET Core platform, which makes platform independent style, which run on all operating system. Okay, right. But I'm going to cover complete .NET Core platform related stuff only, not a .NET framework. Okay. First of all, where we can write .NET code. So there is a software called Visual Studio software. This is Visual Studio. So Visual Studio is an editor tool or editor software. Visual Studio is an editor tool where we can write and develop the .NET logics. Okay. Yes. So if you want to write and develop .NET logic, we need to use Visual Studio editor tool. Okay. From 2002 onwards, okay, Microsoft released so many .NET framework versions as well as Visual Studio version. But at the same time, you should know the .NET Core versions also, right? So I have already, so look at this. These are the framework and Visual Studio versions, .NET Core versions. Let me list out quickly so that you will get clarity now. Okay, fine. See here, .NET Framework, Visual Studio versions. So .NET Framework 1.0, first version, which is in 2002. At that time, Microsoft released Visual Studio software. When it comes to .NET Framework 1.1, Visual Studio 2003 software. This is editor version. And this is framework version. 2.0 framework, at that time, Visual Studio 2005 was there. .NET Framework 3.0, not applicable because at the time of .NET Framework 3.0, Microsoft has not released any Visual Studio version. They were recommended to use Visual Studio 2005 only in 3.0. So .NET Framework 3.5, Visual Studio 2008. .NET Framework 4.0, Visual Studio 2010. 4.5, 2012. 4.6, 2015. Okay, 4.7.1 or 2, 2019, 4.8, 2022. But you may get doubt. Notice this here. From 2016 to 2025, .NET Core only there, right? But again, from 20 to 2016, .NET Framework is there. But even 2016 onwards, Microsoft released a .NET Core. Along with 2016 onwards, they parallelly released .NET Framework also. That's the reason you can see 4.7 is there in VS 2019, 4.8, 2022 Visual Studio we can use. So the last version of .NET Framework was 4.8 only. Still some company people are using .NET Framework 4.8 if they want to implement code completely on .NET Framework, not Core Framework. But notice this, I'm going to teach you completely core versions, right? .NET Core versions, not framework versions. So .NET Core first from 2016 to 2025 till today, .NET Core versions are there. What were the core versions also? You must know that. The first .NET Core 1.0 2016 released, .NET Core 2.0 2018, 3.0 2019, 3.1 also 2019 in the same year. 5.0 2020, 6.0 2021, 7.0 2023, right now 8.0 last year, which was 2024, and .NET 8.9 also there, which is completely released in the year of 2025 in this year. So it's available, but not fully. So .NET Core 8.0 2024 year it was released. This is the latest one, which I'm going to cover all the topics based on this .NET Core 8 or .NET 8 only. So, okay, these are the versions. Just for clarity, I'm giving these versions and don't worry about this version. No need to remember all these things. Okay, so you must know at least what are the .NET Framework versions and what are the core versions. Latest framework version is .NET 4.8. Latest core version is .NET Core 8.0. And Visual Studio 2022 is the editor tool. This software tool only I'm going to use for doing our application development, VS 2022, right? Fine. Then next I'm going to discuss .NET code execution process. .NET code execution process. The moment when we write programs like in C#.NET, whenever I start execution, what steps are involved in code execution process of .NET? Okay, .NET code execution process. So actually there are two compilations takes place in .NET program execution process. How it is, I'll tell you that. So first thing, source code it is. Source code means I can say SSC. SSC means source code. In general, source code means whatever you write the logic in the programming part, that is called source code. Before going to execute any logic, that is called source code. So you can write the source code in C#.NET because our language is C#. So C# source code it is. And the source code is compiled by language compiler. LC means language compiler. This is C# language compiler. Then this language compiler, after successful compilation, it generate MSIL code, Microsoft Intermediate Language Code, or it also called as Common Intermediate Language Code. Up to here, the first compilation takes place here. This is first compilation, right? Next, in the second compilation, MSIL code can be transferred to CLR. CLR is the main component in this CLR, there is a one more compiler is there, JIT, just-in-time compiler. Okay. The CLR, after successful compilation of just-in-time compiler, the code is executed by CLR, Common Language Runtime, and then it produces a byte code. This code is nothing but system understandable code or native code also. This code can be transferred to operating system, that is OS, for further process. This is second compilation here, you can see this. CLR JIT compiler is the second compilation of .NET programming execution. Two compilations takes place here. So here SSE means source code. LC means language compiler. MSIL means Microsoft Intermediate Language Code. CIL means Common Intermediate Language Code. Common Intermediate Language Code. And CLR means Common Language Runtime. Common Language Runtime. JIT means just-in-time compiler. Just-in-time compiler. So these are the abbreviations. So anytime if you write code in C#.NET language, okay, and the code is going to be executed like this. The moment when I hit the run button or output or execute button, immediately you will get output. But behind the scenes, lot of process will takes place. Okay, so this is the code execution process in .NET languages. So for your kind information, the .NET framework not only offer to the developers C#.NET only. So .NET framework offer lot of programming languages, not only C#, like C#.NET, VB.NET, J#.NET, F#.NET, JScript.NET, okay, Windows PowerShell, Iron Ruby, Iron Python, like the different types of languages are there, .NET framework languages. Okay, but why we are using C#.NET means C#.NET is most frequently or commonly used language in real-time application development. It's a popular language. C#.NET is purely object-oriented. C#.NET is functional-oriented, structure-oriented, complete full-fledged implementation is possible with C#. So our code is C#.NET code. That's what C#.NET source code it is, right? So yeah, C#.NET code, and this is C#.NET source code it is. Source code is compiled by what actually? Language compiler. Okay, source code is compiled by language compiler here. So language compiler means what? The compiler will take the source code, and automatically that language compiler will compile the source code. If any errors are there, compilation errors will display. If there is no errors, then simply what? The source code is going to generate language compiler is going to generate MSIL code. MSIL code is nothing but Microsoft Intermediate Language Code, or CIL, Common Intermediate Language Code. But this is not a byte code. It cannot understand by our system or operating system. So this is still English language format. Okay, this is first compilation takes place. So C#.NET source code is compiled by C#.NET language compiler, and it produces MSIL code. First compilation is over. In the second compilation, MSIL code is transferred to the CLR. That means a common language runtime. So this is the main component, especially in .NET. If you want to run any .NET application, CLR component is important. This CLR is having the compiler called JIT compiler. Again, before going to execute the code by CLR, code is going to be recompiled once by JIT. After successful compilation, code is executed by CLR, and after execution, CLR will produce the byte code or system understandable code. Okay, this code can be transferred to operating system for further process. So this is second compilation of .NET. So totally two compilations will take place in .NET program execution. Always first compilation is slower than second compilation. That means second compilation is faster than first compilation because maximum code compiled by first compiler only and minimum code compiled by second compilation. So this is the program execution process or code execution process in .NET. Now next, .NET components, .NET framework components or .NET core framework components. .NET components are there. There are mainly two components are available, sir. I'm saying that there are minimum if you are a fresher, okay, if you are attending an interview, so minimum 2 to 3 questions will come from this area, like .NET component process. So that's what concentrate what I'm telling you now. So without .NET components here, these two components, what I'm going to write here. First component is PCL, that means base class library. Base class library. It also called as FCL, that means framework class library. Framework class library. Next component is already in the above diagram I have given that CLR, common language runtime, CLR. Okay, right. So these two are very, very important components. So I can say that literally without these two components, as a programmer, you cannot write the code and you cannot execute the code. So for writing code is important, and also at the same time, after writing the code, execution of the code also important, right? So to write the code in .NET, we need to use these libraries, base class libraries or framework class libraries. What is meaning of class library exactly means? Class library is nothing but it's having built-in classes. Built-in classes means Microsoft offering built-in classes. Each built-in class contains some built-in methods. Already they have implemented. So we need to use directly the implementation of the code. So that means what they are having the implementation that's directly giving in the form of libraries, we have to consume or access those libraries in our application development. So I can say literally these are base class libraries are ready-made resources. That means ready to use things instead of implementing and use, and we are going to ready to use that. So what they are offering us. So in simple words, I can say base class libraries are very much similar to header files in C++ language, right? So before going to write C language or C++ code below, so on the top header files, we can include like as include stdioh, as include conio.h like that. So that are header files. Same like packages concept in Java. So in Java, even in Java also, we use packages. Packages means like before going to write Java code, so we need to use package concept. On the top of the program, we have to import some certain packages. Same like in .NET, we are having base class libraries only. These are the built-in class libraries. Okay. So base class libraries are building blocks of .NET framework or .NET core framework. Without the base class libraries, we cannot write any programming. Okay. So base class libraries are in the form of two different ways. One is .exe and next one is DLL file. DLL. So DLL stands for Dynamic Linker Library. DLL stands for what? Dynamic Link Library. So every base class library is in the form of two different ways. One is .exe, next one is DLL. DLL means Dynamic Link Library. So let's talk about .exe means what? Very simple. .exe is an executable file. It is nothing but executable file. So directly .exe will execute because it's having an entry point. .exe contain entry point. So entry point of the program in the sense main method. Yes, main method is nothing but entry point only. So .exe is an executable file. It's having an entry point. Entry point means main method. That's the reason whenever you double click on any .exe, directly you will get an output because it's having main method. It starts execution from main method only. Whereas DLL means dynamic link library, right? So it is not an executable file, rather than it is supportive file. It support to .exe in the form of adding some libraries. So .dll file do not contain entry point, no entry point. That means no main method. That's what it won't directly run. Rather than DLL file is a supportive file, I said no. While running the application, we can add a reference to the DLL. So whatever the dynamic link library, dynamic means running time. Link means something is going to be connect. What libraries are adding to the .exe. So while executing the application, whatever the required libraries are there, that libraries are added or linked to the .exe. That's what DLL file. So main importance of DLL file in real time is reusability. For example, imagine I'm developing some logic. For my logic, I am creating DLL file. So total my logic is present in DLL file, right? In future projects, same logic if I want to use, I don't need to write the logic again, because already one of the project purpose I have implemented the DLL file with logic. Same DLL file I can attach to my upcoming project with same logic, so that we can reuse it directly. So with little modification is possible. You can modify also DLL file. For example, imagine we have some banking applications. So suppose one bank person come to the development team, he has given some requirement. So based on requirement, we have implemented some banking logic. So we are handovering that project to the client. But another bank people are coming to the development team, means same, almost all logic, banking logic will be same, main core idea. So that is present in DLL, means no need to re-implement the logic again and again for every new project. So most of the cases in real time, DLL files can be used, means reusability feature is there. So it's a supportive file. You can add this DLL reference to any application. So that DLL code directly we can reuse it once you implement it. So this is base class libraries are in the form of two different ways, .exe and DLL, right? So I'm concluding that without base class libraries, you can't write .NET programs, or you can't write .NET application implementation. Fine. After implementing .NET application with the help of base class libraries, next procedure we need to execute, right? We need to execute. So for execution purpose, what component is required again? CLR. So without common language runtime or CLR component in .NET, so we can't execute our .NET programs, or we can't execute our .NET applications. Not possible, because CLR will provide runtime environment or execution environment for all .NET application implementation. So how CLR can understand the different languages, rules, and regulations means CLR categorized into four subcomponents again. The first one is CLS. It stands for Common Language Specification. Common Language Specification. Next one is CTS. It stands for Common Type System. CTS means Common Type System. Next one is GC, which is important, Garbage Collector. GC means Garbage Collector. Next one is JIT, means Just-in-Time Compiler. Just-in-Time Compiler. So these are the four subcomponents are present in CLR. It is in main component, right? So each and every subcomponent is having its own task to do while executing the program by CLR. So language specification I'm speaking. As I said just now, .NET not only support C#.NET language. So .NET supporting languages are there like C#.NET, VB.NET, J#.NET, F#.NET, like different languages are there. Okay. So programmer can choose any language according to their requirement. For suppose I'm choosing C# for developing my logic. Some other developer, they may choose VB.NET. That also programming language of .NET. Some other developer, they may choose J# or F#. So different programmers, they might select different languages to fulfill their application implementation, right? But while executing time, the CLR should understand commonly for all the language rules and regulations. But how it can understand commonly all programming language syntactical rules and regulation means just because of CLS. So you know that every programming language syntactical rules and regulations are different because C#.NET syntaxes are different, whereas VB.NET syntaxes are different, J#, F#, like that. But while executing the code under the CLR, the CLS component will do what you know. It can convert all the programming language syntactical rules and regulations into CLR understandable format. So this is the transformation, like whatever the programming rules and regulations are there, syntactical rules and regulations, it can be converted into CLR understandable format. So that can do by CLS. So I can say CLS will provide language interoperability. Language interoperability means writing code in one language and execute on other platform or other language. That is language interoperability. Or else we can say one programming language syntactical rules can be understood by other programming language syntactical rules and regulations. That is language interoperability. So common language specification is a subcomponent. This subcomponent can convert all the syntactical rules and regulations of different languages into CLR understandable format. Now coming to the next subcomponent, CTS, Common Type System. It's also nothing but data type system, sir. Yes. So data types also important. So C#.NET data types are different. VB.NET, J#.NET, F#.NET, like different .NET languages, data types are different. But while executing the programs under CLR, CTS component is responsible to convert all the programming language data type system into CLR data type system. So then only CLR can understand the common type system and it can provide execution environment for different languages. So understanding of data types in different languages purpose CTS is there, and understanding the syntactical rules and regulations or language specification in different languages purpose CLS is there. So next coming to the GC, it's also one of the main subcomponent. So GC is nothing but garbage collector. Garbage collector means unwanted objects or unused objects can be collected and destroyed. That is garbage collector purpose. And moreover, garbage collector purpose is automatic memory management. Automatic memory management. What is automatic memory management? Very simple. In the application implementation, programmer may create different types of objects. So all the objects can be divided into two categories. One is objects in use. Next one is idled objects. Okay. Objects in use. Next one is idled objects. Like this. Objects in use means these are useful objects to run our application. You cannot destroy from the memory. You should keep it in the memory. But idled objects means garbage objects. Unnecessary, these objects are occupied the memory. So these objects can be destroyed from the memory. So automatic memory management process means generally the objects can be divided into two categories, the objects in use and idled objects. The garbage collector will do what actually? For objects in use purpose, memory can be allocated, and idled objects after memory deallocation, this can be destroyed from the memory only. So in general, garbage collector internally will call a destructor. Destructor and constructor, these are the part of our programming languages. Later we'll discuss in C# object-oriented programming point of view. So generally constructor means what? To construct something or to initialize something. And destructor means destruct something or de-initialize something. So garbage collector internally will call what? A destructor. It's a special method actually. Why garbage collector is calling the destructor always means destructor is used to do the cleanup activities. Cleanup activities means resource deallocation. So whatever the idled objects are there, For that, the cleanup activities or memory deallocation process can be done by destructor. And after completion of destructor execution or destructor task, then garbage collector will destroy these idled objects from the memory only. And strictly remember, destructor will never destroy the objects like idled objects. Who destroy the idled objects? Finally, garbage collector. Then what will be the role of destructor? Only destructor responsible is what? Whenever garbage collector calls a destructor, that should come and do the cleanup activities like memory deallocation procedure. Once destructor role is over, then automatically that objects will become idle, that is garbage or unnecessary objects. These objects can be destroyed by GC only, sir. Okay, so this is the automatic memory management. So just because of garbage collector is there as an assistant while running the C#.NET programs, as a programmer, we don't need to write any memory management code. Yes, we never involved memory management purpose. Okay, because of garbage collector component is there, it will take care completely internal management like a code, security, memory management. Complete .NET will maintain internal management all because it is C#.NET is a high level programming language. High level programming language means what? All the low level activities can be created by C#.NET itself only. Internal activities purpose, as a programmer, you need not to do any explicit logic. Automatically, it will do that. Okay. So because of high level language, C#.NET. And the last component, subcomponent is JIT, just-in-time compiler. It is a compiler which is associated with CLR, which can be compile the code in the second compilation after generating MSL code. So without CLR, common language runtime component, we can't run the code. And without base class libraries, like class library means each and every library is having built-in classes. Without this, we can't write .NET code. Using base class libraries, we need to write the logic. Using CLR, we need to execute the logic, right? So both are important to us in our .NET development. So this is complete introduction of .NET components and code execution process and .NET Core versions and framework and Visual Studio versions. Okay. And next, it's time to begin the coding part. So before that, we need to talk about C#.NET coding also, C#.NET language. So as I said that C#.NET is a programming language which is used to write coding part for the application development. Okay, you can see this. I said already C#.NET is our main focus. These are first 45 days to 50 working days. Our focus is on completely C#.NET. So because I said clearly, without having knowledge of C#.NET, you can't move towards ASP.NET, MVC, Entity Framework, no web API, not possible. So that's what my focus is completely C#.NET only for the first 45 to 50 working days. So what is C#.NET? It's a programming language. Generally, what purpose we can use this language to write coding part for the application development. So C#.NET is a general purpose programming language. C#.NET is a general purpose high level and object-oriented programming language. C#.NET is a general purpose, high level, object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming language. Okay. So general purpose means what? Using C#.NET, we can develop general type of applications like console applications, web applications, Windows Forms applications, and gaming applications, mobile applications, business applications, WPF. Tomorrow I'll discuss all the application area in which type of applications we can develop using C#.NET. So C#.NET is not only for developing specific kind of application. It's all application is possible to implement using C#. That's what it's called general purpose. As I said, high level means all the low level activities can be managed by C#.NET itself. No need to write any explicit logic from the programmer point of view. Not required to write any logic like memory management and security precautions, internal activities like exception mechanisms. All purpose, we need not to write any logic because it is high level. It will take care by default internally. And most important is C#.NET is object-oriented programming. Any programming language, it is object-oriented. We will get a lot of security in the implementation, and reusability options are there, and application enhancement features are there because it is object-oriented programming. Okay. So in C#.NET, mainly first we need to focus on console applications. Okay. So console applications. Later we'll discuss console application in tomorrow's session. Once I start console application, then we can start coding part in the tomorrow. But just remember, to write or to start programming in C#.NET, I strongly recommend Visual Studio 2022. This is the software editor or editor tool. Later, initially for 45 days to 50 working days, this is enough, Visual Studio 22. Later in the ASP.NET development with the database connection purpose, SQL Server 2022 is required. So these two softwares are enough to handle complete .NET, sir. Visual Studio 2022, SQL Server 2022. How to get this? Very simple. Just go to Google it and download Visual Studio. Download Visual Studio 2022. Simply you can hit the enter button. So look at this Visual Studio 2022, visualstudio.microsoft.com is there. Click on this. And now you can see Visual Studio is the main option is there. Click on it. And once you click on it below, you will notice the Visual Studio left hand side. Download Visual Studio Expand Community 2022. It's a free for individual developers, academic users, and open source. I recommend to download this one only and install it. And if you go with professional, free trial for individual use. This is only maximum 90 days trial version is there. After that, they'll ask you to purchase or license. There is enterprise edition free trial for organizations like who are maintaining the development team, minimum size or maximum size. This enterprise edition will be there. Preview edition is there. So early access to latest features. If you want to access latest features like .NET 9 features in this, we can go with preview edition only. Not complete, just preview before going to launch latest features. We can utilize that. So I recommend this community only, sir, because it's completely free software, individual purpose only. You can download it, community, and install it. Installation steps also very simple. You can ready with this Visual Studio 2022. Later, you can go through SQL Server 2022 also. Once you're ready with these two softwares, then from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to launch Visual Studio 2022. There I can show you how to write C#.NET programming by creating some applications, right? So that is today. Second demo is over. Who are new to this session, so you feel that this is your first session, I strongly recommend to watch the first video yesterday what I conducted the session. Don't worry, at the end of this session, our team will send the content link and the demo link yesterday what I conducted. Clearly, you can watch it. Okay. So that's all for today. Please continue tomorrow and day after tomorrow also demo sessions. Don't miss it so that you will get clarity. After that, you can decide whether you want to take my lectures or not. So that's all from my side. Still, if you have any questions from your side, you can feel free to ask me now. Any questions? Please go ahead. Mr. Mohan Krishna, do you want to ask anything?
Sir, in applications, are the different applications is that
Yeah.
in C Sharp?
Yeah, console and Windows Forms and web applications, WPF, WCF, Web API, MVC.
Which in our When we are using their practice time or any company, we are using console applications and window applications and web applications
Web
also.
applications. Yes, yes, yes. So see, conceptual wise, to learn C#.NET, mostly console application we use, and we will execute all the topics over there. But in the real-time implementation, especially in ASP.NET, same whatever we learn console application topics like object-oriented principles, everything we need to implement in ASP.NET development also. There also classes and objects only we have to deal. First, you have to understand the concept, way to use, what is this concept, features and all with console application implementation. Later, we have to implement it, the ASP.NET web development or Windows Forms, anywhere we can implement that same topics. Okay.
Syllabus content, one time I explained syllabus content, sir.
Syllabus
Syllabus.
content, yes, our team will send that syllabus content link also. I'll think already they shared yesterday if you join. So with valid mail ID. So I think you got a mail from DURGASOFT, follow-up mail. In that they have added some link, content link, demo video link, everything is there. If you join today only means you will get at the end of the session or tomorrow morning, you will get complete links, syllabus link, demo link with course duration and details and everything they'll assist you. Okay.
Present are we are using the ASP.NET MVC or only code, sir.
No, we are going to teach completely MVC architecture through only core MVC, core entity framework, core web API, all core platform through only. I'm going to explain you.
Core and MVC. Okay.
Yes, yes. All core platform. See, only ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Entity Framework, ASP.NET Web API also there. That is belongs to framework, .NET Framework. If I go with select this template, core template, which makes platform independent style only, we can develop this MVC Web API for
Sir,
you.
what is the difference between ASP.NET or ASP core, sir? Different, what is the difference, sir?
That's the reason I said no. ASP.NET means classic ASP.NET. That is only some drag and drop options will be there.
Old
And
version and new version, sir. It
old
is now.
version. That's what old version only I'm saying. ASP.NET framework. What is that? Drag and drop options are there, and no three multi-layer architecture. Only two-layer architecture is there, front end and back end. Like design and coding, everything we can write in one place only. But in the core platform, completely three-layer architecture. So separately, design is separate layer, coding is separate layer, and database connection is separate layer. All multi layers applications are there. So what we can say, code all together we cannot place in one location. That's not good practice in real-time development. Separation of concern is the main advantage in ASP.NET Core. So we have to divide
Present,
separate.
all companies are using MVC, sir.
Obviously,
And
MVC only. MVC
MVC core.
architecture, design pattern only, yes. This MVC pattern everywhere it's common. Previously, before MVC, they were used only normal ASP.NET, but it's completely gone. Only MVC is working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi Mohan, Aparna this side.
Yes.
Actually, I have joined in the middle of the session. Do we have a demo session tomorrow as well?
Yeah, tomorrow as well, demo session, day after tomorrow also there. But kindly watch my demo video yesterday and today what conducted. Even
Huh?
our team will send the demo link, YouTube link, so that you can watch yesterday and today video which I explained you.
Okay.
Tomorrow as usual, it is their demo. You can join so that you will get clarity.
Same time, right?
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yes.
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay. Can you please let me know how many months course it is?
Yeah, total 4 months course duration.
Okay.
In that 4 months, we are going to cover like C# programming language, ASP.NET Core, MVC, Entity Framework, Web API, SQL Server complete, and UI
Okay.
basics. These are
Along with the live project, right?
yeah, projects
So,
can be included in ASP.NET development, web development.
so total 3 months course, right?
4 months, 4 months.
4 months. 4 months. Okay. Okay.
recorded videos and
Yesterday's
complete.
class
Will you
told
give any certificate after the post completion of this course?
Yeah, sure. Our team will provide course completion later. Tell me yesterday. Someone is asking about yesterday.
no, yesterday's class you told me you will cover classic.NET also.
No, no, no. ASP.NET.
ASP.NET web forms.
ASP.NET Web Forms I'll cover. That is in MVC architecture only I'll cover.
Okay.
Yeah. ASP.NET Web Forms, C#.NET Window Forms is there. Windows Forms with ADO.NET. That I'll cover along with ASP.NET with database connectivity. Everything will cover.
Okay.
Do you give any assignments in the middle of the course? Like after
Yeah.
completion of C#.NET and after completion of ASP.NET Core, in the
Yeah,
middle
if
of the courses, will you give any assignments to us or not?
yeah, sure. If you need whatever the kind of assignment, we will give you so that you can try to implement this. Any implementation help is required, will be there to assist you.
Sir, is there any interview preparation? Is available?
Interview preparation in the with the flow only, like whatever I'm explaining the C#.NET content, ASP.NET topic wise, I used to teach in the class itself only. Like I clearly mentioned, this is the interview questions. So you have to answer like this with the flow only, topic wise, it will be there in interview questions in the topic only, not separately, including in the part of the discussion only.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. SQL Server means what? How you will give the course? Like, I mean, will you say about the SQL commands
No,
and
no.
PLSQL related?
E- Here dot, sorry, subject to correction. Here SQL Server, PLSQL is not there. Actually, PLSQL is related to Oracle. It is
Correct.
Microsoft SQL Server. This TSQL is there, transaction SQL. TSQL also we will cover this. So SQL Server is nothing but not only basics, complete joins, triggers,
Okay.
views, indexers, constraints, normalizations, and stored procedures, transactions,
So you will
all.
say anonymous block as well as named
Every,
blocks of SQL, right?
obviously, complete content. You can observe the content. So what I cover so that you will get clarity.
Okay.
Yeah. Complete SQL server, not basics.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So C#.NET 45 days to 50 working days. SQL Server complete 1 month it will take. And rest of the duration we will focus, we'll spend on ASP.NET Core MVC Entity Framework Web API.
Okay. What about UI basics? Will you say the basic concepts of these all?
Exactly.
Okay.
Basics are enough to deal with ASP.NET because maximum design and all will come by default in ASP.NET Core templates only.
Correct. Huh.
Yeah. So that's what at least basic idea you must have how to handle with HTML tags and CSS styling, JavaScript validation functionality, and bootstrap links, jQuery links, how to use in our HTML header section. That kind of things will cover by 1 week or 10 days in ASP.NET development.
You only the person will give the will take all the
All.
sessions, or any other persons also will
No,
be involved in future.
no. Till first day
Okay.
itself, last day, I am only involved. I will teach all the concepts,
Okay.
all the subjects. So that's all for today. Yeah, proceed. Anybody? Any questions?
ADO.NET, sir.
Yeah. Tell me.
ADO.NET is also is there, sir, in SQL.
Yes. ADO.NET is there in C#.NET with window forms. So window forms through
Okay.
how to connect with SQL Server, all the operations we will do on database. So entity framework will be there in ASP.NET Core because it is ORM tool. This is also same like ADO.NET, but it's completely different structure it is. Do you get recorded classes instead of live classes? Yeah, obviously. You contact to DURGASOFT. So you will receive all my recorded classes. Okay, so they'll assist you how to purchase it from website.
And you will give the codes, I mean material as well, right?
Yes,
And
exactly. Each and every subject PDF and live recorded videos every day I used to upload in Google Drive. That is lifetime access.
okay. Okay.
So I strongly recommend to watch my last video yesterday, what I conduct the demo, and today. So even our team will send the demo links, 2 sessions links. The third session is going to happen tomorrow. Don't miss. Tomorrow we'll start C#.NET with Visual Studio 2022 basic coding. We will start. So feel free
Okay.
to attend 2 or 3 demo sessions next. After that, you can decide.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for attending this session. Have a nice time. See you tomorrow. You can use same link at 7 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.